Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're embarking on a journey through the shadowy corridors of power, espionage, and organized crime. Our guide for this exploration is the gripping book, Nation Under Blackmail, The Sordid Union Between Intelligence and Crime, by Whitney Webb. Let's start with a dramatic scene. February 9th, 1942, New York City Harbor. The majestic Normandy, a ship being converted into a troop transporter, is engulfed in flames. As winter winds fan the fire, the ship capsizes, leading to an expensive salvage operation. While investigations point to incompetence, rumors of German sabotage swirl, reflecting the paranoia of the times. This incident, though seemingly a wartime mishap, sets the stage for a much deeper, more sinister story. Enter the Office of Naval Intelligence, or ONI, and their inquiry into potential saboteurs. The man in charge, C. Radcliffe Haffenden, discovers the underworld of the New York City waterfront, where gangsters like Joseph "Joe Sox" Lanza hold sway, but Lanza directs them higher up the chain to figures like Meyer Lansky and Frank Costello. This leads to a delicate negotiation that would evolve into Operation Underworld, a government program that recruits high-level mobsters for intelligence work, justified by the exigencies of war. This operation marks the beginning of a dangerous alliance between organized crime and American intelligence. Luciano, imprisoned by Thomas Dewey, agrees to help, turning his cell into a hub for counterintelligence activities. The operation expands, with Luciano and his associates aiding the Allied invasion of Sicily, providing names and contacts for the military campaign. But the story doesn't end there. The scope of Operation Underworld grows, forever altering the landscape of the United States and beyond. It lays the groundwork for a new underworld, one built on the cooperation between organized crime and intelligence services. This alliance, forged in the crucible of war, would have far-reaching implications, shaping the course of history in ways that are still felt today. Now, let's fast-forward to the post-war era. The National Crime Syndicate, a loose confederation of mostly Italian-American and Jewish-American crime groups, becomes a dominant force. Key figures like Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, and Frank Costello rise to power, their influence extending into the highest echelons of politics and business. Their operations are vast, spanning prostitution, narcotics, and labor racketeering. Luciano, in particular, is a fascinating character. Born in Sicily, he arrives in America in 1906 and quickly rises through the ranks of the underworld. He forms alliances with figures like Frank Costello and Meyer Lansky, creating a multi-ethnic organized crime model that breaks down traditional ethnic barriers. Their empire is built on a complex web of corruption and coercion, with revenues flowing into legitimate businesses and offshore accounts. But the most intriguing aspect of this story is the intersection of intelligence and crime. The Office of Strategic Services, the precursor to the CIA, becomes entangled in this web. While the exact role of the OSS in Operation Underworld is murky, it's clear that figures like Earl Brennan and Murray Gurfein, who later served in the OSS, were aware of the negotiations between Luciano and the ONI. The OSS itself is a fascinating entity, a social club for the elite, with ties to the Mellon, Morgan, and Vanderbilt families. Its leadership is dominated by figures like William J. Donovan, a prominent New York lawyer and veteran of World War I, who becomes the director of the OSS. The agency is deeply intertwined with British intelligence, with figures like William Stevenson playing a crucial role in shaping its operations. As we delve deeper, we uncover the connections between the OSS and the drug trade. OSS activities in the Asian theater, particularly in China, Burma, and India, lay the groundwork for the roles these countries would play in the early stages of the Cold War. the CIA's support for nationalist Chinese elements in Burma leads to the expansion of the opium trade, which the Kuomintang used to fund their anti-communist activities both in Burma and across the border in China. The CIA happily turned a blind eye to all of this. This brings us to the story of the Green Gang in China, a secret society that becomes a powerful force in the opium trade. With the backing of the Kuomintang, the Green Gang consolidates its power, creating a narco-state where opium cultivation becomes a central focus of government revenue. The involvement of American organized crime figures in this trade further complicates the picture, with figures like Arnold Rothstein and Meyer Lansky playing key roles. The connections between intelligence, organized crime, and the drug trade become even more apparent when we look at the activities of figures like Garland Williams, a Federal Bureau of Narcotics agent who later worked with the OSS and the CIA. Williams is part of an apparatus that uses drug traffickers as agents against communism, a strategy that continued well into the post-war era. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The story of the alliance between intelligence and crime is a complex tapestry, woven with threads of power, corruption, and betrayal. It's a story that challenges our understanding of history and the forces that shape our world. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this thought. The connections between intelligence and crime are not just relics of the past. They continue to influence our world today, shaping the global landscape in ways that are often hidden from view. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and share. And stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to unravel the tangled web of power and corruption. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep seeking the truth. This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book One Nation Under Blackmail, The Sordid Union Between Intelligence and Crime by Whitney Webb. Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.